Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. By the end of this video, you will see this painted and a few more things too. But right now, I've got it outside. I'm setting up the paint booth inside the barn and doing a final blowdown and getting this thing ready to put in there. Obviously, a lot of different layers of filler and primer have been put on and off this thing to get it as smooth as I can. But until you really get it in one color, you can't really tell exactly what you got there. But to me, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to set up a paint booth and get this thing going. First step here, of course, is the Evercoat G2 Feather Fill High Build Primer. Quick look at the temporary first edition of my paint booth. And here's the car in the Feather Fill. This is a great product for top coating on fiberglass rather than re-gel coating the whole thing. And I've got a nice hard shell finish on there. It gives you the kind of a matte finish. It's a little textury, but I always intended to block sand this. Really get a nice hard finish for my next coats of primer and color coat. Of course, I got the doors off and I've got those painted both sides so I could do the jams, and I did paint the hood inside and outside. Real basic filtration system here in order to get the overspray out, but a really nice, even, uniform finish, and the bodywork looks really good. Time to upgrade the paint booth for the next step, though. All right, well, here is the latest paint booth setup. So just to recap, I ran cables all around this perimeter here, tied to this structure, and pulled them tight. I've got a couple of jack chains there holding those cables taut, plastic hanging on the sides. Now when I sprayed primer, I didn't have the top on the thing, but the weather's gotten a little colder and also a little bit better contamination control. Well, even though in the primer I didn't really have much in the way of contamination, but I did run some strings. You see kind of an X pattern here, and I laid plastic over the top. And of course I've got the door open here, and I got a couple of ventilation fans going down low. It's sort of a cross flow booth if you think of it that way. I do have supply air coming in up high, which I'll show you on the other side. So here under the mezzanine, you can see I've got a couple of supply fans there with filters bringing air in. And then I've got an electric heater here, a 5,000 watt 240 volt heater. And basically what I'm doing is I'm taking air from inside the shop area and blowing it into this back area. I put a little bit of a tarp there, so I kind of have a warm, pressurized plenum, so bringing warm air in to supply these fans. And here's, of course, my paint prep station. So now in the booth, with the fans running on medium, and I can feel that the air nice and warm here. Now it's warmed up today a little bit, so it's really nice. And I got my exhaust fans going down low. There's a small squirrel cage fan under this box fan, all with filters on them. And cars all masked and skirted. I actually have it on the lift so that I can keep it low, paint the high parts, then raise it up and get the low parts. Got my milk crates to stand on. I got my lift control here sticking through the plastic that I can easily control that. She's in white epoxy primer. Now time for color. Going into spray. I'm not going to be able to film it in there, but you don't want to watch me spray anyway. Go watch one of the experts on YouTube. One tip I have learned: tape up your cuffs so that your sweaty hands don't drip on the paint. Don't ask me how I know. Get you on the flip side. All right, painting's done. Time for the unveiling of the new color. Ready? And here it is. This is ermine white. Famous color from mostly GM in the 60s. a very soft, grayish, tannish, uh, antique white or old English white. Kind of a tribute to the early Corvettes and Jaguars KEs. This is all single stage. Went really well. I had a little bit of a compressor difficulty and blew a fuse and had to hot wire it and lost pressure, so I had some gun problems, but there's nothing there that will not sand out. You can hear I'm sticking on the floor. It's very sticky here. But she's warming up now. The surface temps I just checked are around 75 degrees. The heat's working well. It needs another couple hours to be tack free. But I'll keep the fans and the heat going all night. I have turned off the exhaust fans. So this is not like so airtight that we won't get some fresh air coming in. But man, it came out really good. It's right out of the gun. Nice gloss there. I had some dripping, put a really kind of heavy coat here on the tail. Had some dripping, but it's easy to drip out, to sand out some drips. But you can see the gloss reflection there. So definitely going to wet sand and buff, but we're going to let this cure a good long time. I'm going to try to keep it reasonably warm, and I'll check in once we get it dried a little bit and maybe rolled out in the sunshine, and get it all unmasked. But really happy with how it went so far, and yeah, making progress. Here's a few shots of the car right before wet sanding and buffing, which I am not going to show you because it's a very tedious, boring process, as you know if you've ever done it. But it is quite rewarding, and this car really needed it. There was a lot of orange peel and some runs and so forth, a little paint correction stuff that I've got to do. But I've been working on it, and it's coming out really good. And I'm going to show you here next some of the results of that, along with some bling. So enjoy it. Well, here it is after first cutting and buffing, really getting a nice shine, getting really after most of the orange peel. I just couldn't resist putting some of the shiny things on to see what it was going to look like. You may recognize, for instance, the fender louvers from a previous video. You can always go back and take a look at that. Some of these things I haven't shown before, but you can see there, really getting a nice shine, nice reflection, a little bit of orange peel still left. Door gaps, I'm very happy with. I got the mirrors on. Thanks, Corey, for those. I have not shown those before, I don't think. You can also see the belt line trim. I had a couple videos out on that, and the upper door panels in place. And of course, the door handles. Bonus points, put in the comments if you recognize and know what kind of car those are from. Have not shown the B pillar before, at least the covering. That's a stainless steel, brushed stainless steel cover that I had made to my design. And of course, I've got some weather stripping in for window templating. I might have teased this before, but here's the custom Victress logo on the chrome wheel spinners. Looks pretty good. Now, a lot of you who are familiar with this car are not surprised to see this, but those of you who aren't will go, well, this looks like the rear end of a Corvette. And of course, I do have Corvette taillights on there from a C2 Corvette, along with the license plate bezel. But those of you that know this car know that this car was designed before the Corvette was, so try to explain that, right? You may not recognize those reverse lights. Put that in the comments if you do, and you know what they are. I'll let you know later on. But there it is after the first cutting and buffing. I've got a lot more work to do. I'm going to switch to the interior work next. I do have to get the front end together as far as the rest of the uh, shiny stuff goes. And I'll continue to put some more videos out there. But once again, hope you're enjoying this project, and thanks for watching, and come on back sometime.